Yuck. Rainy. At least it's not freezing or snowing, but that's cold rain. I gotta take the trash out to the garage. So while we're out here, we'll chit-chat for a little bit. Yeah, it's raining right now. They're talking about snow, lots of snow. Now, originally they said 2 to 3 feet of snow. Now they're saying maybe 4 to 6 inches of snow. But it's not supposed to start snowing until sometime in the wee hours of morning. So temperature's still, it's not warm, but the temperatures are still up enough right now that we don't have snow. So that's a good thing. The rain, though, rain's always kind of depressing. You can't really go outside and do anything, and even if you do, even if you have rain gear or stuff, to me, in this kind of cold, damp weather, it's still kind of miserable. So we stayed in the house today, had the fire going, and for once, didn't have to do anything. Now, it's been a busy week. Monday, we had to go all the way to Cleveland, to the Cleveland Clinic. Val had to get a PET scan on her brain. And that's the one where they inject radioactive material into her, and then they wait about a half hour, and then they take the pictures of her brain. And that PET scan is supposed to show any active cancer growth. She had these 2 tumors in the right side of her brain, well, but this side, and it'll show whether or not those tumors were active. So we did that. That took up most of our day, because you drive from here all the way to Cleveland, and then you're up there for hours, and then you drive back home again. Takes up your whole day. Yesterday, now, my mom's living with my brother in Youngstown. So that's like an hour and a half drive east of here. Real close to the Pennsylvania borderline. And my brother and his wife took a trip to Florida, and they needed somebody to, I guess for lack of better terms, babysit my mom. So I couldn't do it because I have to take care of Valerie, and she has all these appointments and stuff, and so I couldn't just leave Val here alone and go spend a week and a half in Youngstown. My brother flew from California. He's, retired, lives by himself. He flew out to Youngstown to stay with my mom while my other brother went on vacation down in Florida. So I told them, I said, well, you know what, I'll take the trip to Youngstown yesterday, thinking that today was going to start getting lousy weather, and I didn't want to drive in the crappy weather that far. I told them I'd go out there yesterday, so I did, and I brought them a Meals on Wheels. Valerie made a wonderful brown sugar meatloaf that was so good. So we made one for them, took them some mashed potatoes and green beans and some cake. And my mom was delighted. She was just elated that she had, a wonderful meal that Valerie prepared for her. And my brother was happy, quite happy too. So, but my brother's doing a really tough job taking care of my mom. Fortunately, they've set up that a nurse comes in every day too to help my mom with her personal things. So my brother doesn't have to bathe her or anything, like that. The nurse takes care of that kind of stuff. But my brother just has to see that she's fed and that, her needs are met during the day. And he's doing a good job of that. I give him credit for that. So I left there and I'm on my way home. And I have to take I-76, which is the expressway between here and Youngstown. And so I was heading westbound on I-76. It's a beautiful sunny day. Probably temperature was in the upper 40s. So I don't complain about that weather at all this time of year. I'll take it. I think the speed limit there is 70 miles an hour. I'm doing about 70 miles an hour. And ahead of me, I see a fire truck merge onto the expressway with its lights blazing. and he cuts right over into the hammer lane and just stays there. A big ladder truck. And so I just kind of followed in suit right behind him. And nobody wanted to pass a fire truck. The fire truck was going 70 miles an hour right on the speed limit. And so I just stayed right behind him. We went about 6 miles or so, and over in the eastbound lane, heading back towards Youngstown, there was a multi-car crash. I saw at least 3 cars and parts of cars scattered all over the highway. And there was a fire truck there, there was some rescue vehicles there, and the lights were all blazing, and the traffic was backed up going back towards Youngstown. I'm going westbound, so I'm going home. My highway lane is clear. So the fire truck had to keep going a little ways to get to one of those turnoffs where he could go back to where the accident was. And I saw him braking, so everybody slowed down, and we let him make his turn into the median where he was going to turn. And of course, he had to the cars would get out of his way because he had to make his way back up to the accident. Well, once he turned into that median, I stomped on the pedal and brought my speed back up again to right around, I don't know, I was probably doing about 65, 70 miles an hour. And I'm driving the Silverado, and all of a sudden, wham! It sounded like something hit the side of my truck. I about freaked out. I was like, what the heck? I'm looking in my mirror, I don't see anything. And I thought, what the heck hit my truck? Something just slammed into the side of my truck. And not seconds later, I hear it again. Wham! And I thought, what's going on? What is this? I glance off to my left towards the median, and here comes a semi. Okay, now remember, this traffic had been all backed up. What I was hearing was cars slamming into each other. That was the bang I was hearing. Now, nothing was hitting my truck. Those were the cars hitting each other in the other lane right across from me, which I couldn't really see because they were right, next to me there. I'm watching ahead at cars because people are trying to, gawk and look, and their brake lights are coming. I don't want to rear end anybody. Get out of the way. I'm going home. I got to get out of here. Well, here comes a semi trying to avoid rear-ending somebody coming towards me. It comes right into the median. I snow flying and everything. And I thought, oh, Lord, please. I just floored it. Of course, there was one of those cable guardrails in between. So he kind of hit that cable, and it kind of ricocheted him along that cable there. But stuff was flying everywhere, and I just nailed it and kept going. Boy, that shook me up. I thought, well, I know they got help. I know they got rescue vehicles. I know there's police back there. I know there's fire engines back there. But you almost want to turn around and go back and help people. But, I know better. It wouldn't be worth, I couldn't. It wouldn't even be worth my time and my own safety to try to do that. So I just kept hammering on home, but my heart was there for those people that were in those accidents back there. Now, I never heard anything on the news yet. I might look online tonight and see if there's anything, that came up on the news about the multi-car crash on I-76 yesterday. And I just pray nobody was seriously injured in those crashes. But, oh boy, that was loud. And after I got stopped at the gas station, I'm looking at the side of my truck. I go, did something hit my truck? Because it sure sounded like it, but there's not a scratch on it. It just got the road spray on it, and that's it. So, yeah, crazy day. So I made it home safely, and my lovely wife had baked one of those brown sugar meatloaves for me, too. The one that I just dropped off with my mom and my brother. So it was a delicious meal. My mom just called a little bit ago, and she's like, You know, we had that brown sugar meatloaf again tonight for dinner, and it was just excellent. We just loved it. So her and my brother were eating like kings and queens with our Meals on Wheels. Oh, well. So that's been the story. Oh, and then, well, I best not leave this out. While I was in Youngstown, I got a text from my wife, and she said that she just had received a I don't know if it was a text or a note or some kind of a written thing she got from the Cleveland Clinic saying that as the results of her PET scan, they were unsure if the tumors were showing active cancer. They said one of them could possibly be showing active cancer again. So that leaves us in limbo, and they said we'll take it to the tumor board today. It's going to the tumor board Thursday, and then the tumor board will decide how they want to proceed. And the tumor board they're all the highfalutin experts, so they're going to look at the scans themselves, and they're going to say, yes, this does look like it's active, or nah, this really isn't active. This is what this is, and blah, blah, blah. They're the experts. Let them decide. But they're supposed to tell us tomorrow on Friday. They're supposed to let us know. Just really tough to deal with those kind of things because it's like rolling the dice. You don't know if it's going to be good or bad. You don't, and how long they make you wait. You just gotta wait for them. That's the only thing you can do. They're not going to go out of their way to hurry up and call you right away and let you know what the results are. In most cases, we have to call them and say, hey, what's going on? We've been waiting to hear. What did they say? I'd be surprised if we hear from them on Friday, to be honest with you. Anyway, that's the story for today. Oh, I wanted to show you one more thing on my chainsaw here. So if you'll bear with me for a minute. On the cutters here, you'll see these are the cutter blades. But right past the cutter blade is this little thing that sticks up, and it's called the raker. Now, and I showed you in my last video how to file and sharpen these. But the other thing you want to watch is this raker. This raker is what controls how deep these knives are going to cut. That controls the depth of the cut. And if you file that raker down, take a flat file and you just scrape over the top of this raker here, you don't want to take too much of it off because then it's going to gouge in too deep and your saw blade will stall in the wood. But I don't take that down every time I sharpen the saw. If I see that my saw is starting to blow out less chips, finer chips, I'll take a couple strokes on those rakers and take them down just a little bit to where it will make a more aggressive cut. Take them down too far, it's going to take way more of an aggressive cut and it's going to stall out your saw. Your blade will jam into the wood. You might bog down your engine. So, and they do have a gauge for that. Sorry, I don't have a gauge. I should get a gauge. The gauge lays right on top of there and it shows you whether that needs to be filed down or not. Anyway, I'm going to have to cut some more wood here, maybe next week, to get me through February and March. But we're doing okay right now. We're keeping the house nice and toasty and warm and staying comfortable. And actually, it's kind of comfortable in here today, with the temperatures being up again all day today, even though it's rainy and kind of chilly outside. It's comfortable out here. All right, well, thanks for watching my video today, cats. I appreciate you coming along, listening to my story. Give your regards to my mother and her good health. She's still doing good. And thanks for your prayers for my wife. She needs the prayers in more ways than one. This is a very difficult mental game. It's very painful for her sometimes, and then dealing with, the cancer itself. So thank you. Pray for you guys too, as you need it. Till next time, cats. I'll catch you later.